Burnout prevention and treatment. How to nip it in the bud and regain your balance. You could be on the road to burnout if constant stress makes you feel helpless, disillusioned, and completely exhausted. Watch this video to learn how to regain your energy, fulfill your aspirations, and feel positive and hopeful again. No matter the level and nature of the burnout, you can still turn things around and live a more fulfilled life. Keep in mind, everyone's situation is different, so don't hesitate to reach out for professional help if you feel you may have a burnout situation and cannot handle things on your own. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as splendid as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about burnout prevention and treatment. This is an important topic, and I'm going to show you how to nip it in the bud and regain your balance and energy ASAP. What is burnout? Let's first start with the definition here. Let's go back to basics. Burnout is basically a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. So you have some kind of duality, the correlation between stress and burnout. So burnout occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. So as the stress continues, you begin to lose the interest and motivation that led you to take on a certain role in the first place. Burnout reduces productivity, and this is something that a lot of companies are getting more and more concerned about. And burnout also saps your energy, leaving you feeling increasingly helpless, hopeless, resentful, and sometimes cynical. Eventually, you may feel like you have nothing more to give. And think about the consequences when an employee thinks that he or she has nothing more to give. Thinks about the consequences to the bottom line of the company, but also to employee morale. The negative effect of burnout spill over into every area of life, including your home, work, and social life. Burnout also can cause long-term changes to your body. I'm talking here about the metabolical situation of your body that make you vulnerable, ultimately, to illnesses like colds and flu. Because of its many adverse consequences, it is important to deal with burnout right away. Let me give you a few tips here in terms of identifying whether or not you are on the road to burnout. You may be on the road to burnout if every day is a bad day, caring about your work or home life seems like a total waste of energy. You are exhausted all the time. The majority of your day is spent on tasks you will find either mind-numbingly dull or overwhelming. And you feel like nothing you do makes a difference or is appreciated, not just by your family members or your boss or your colleagues. You just feel worthless. Excuse the word, but I'm just trying to be very blunt here. So if some of the symptoms that I just listed seem to apply to you, I would say, as I said before, reach out for professional help or reach out for help in your entourage. Talk to people, reach out for help, talk to someone. Let's talk about signs and symptoms of burnout. Most of us have days where we feel helpless, overloaded, and unappreciated, when dragging ourselves out of bed requires the determination of Hercules. Now, if you feel like this is most of the time, however, you may be burned out. If you have it temporarily, it's fine. But if you have it all the time, then we have a problem. You have a problem. Burnout is a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight, but it can creep out on you. The signs and symptoms are subtle at first, but become worse as time goes on. So think of the early symptoms as red flags that something is wrong that needs to be addressed ASAP. If you pay attention and actively reduce your stress, you can prevent a major breakdown. If you ignore them, however, you will eventually burn out. Remember what I said about the duality, the correlation between stress and burnout. Those two are linked together. Those are evil brothers or evil sisters. So you want to nip either of them in the bud. You basically want to nip stress in the bud because stress leads to burnout. Let me give you some physical signs and symptoms of burnout. You're feeling tired and drained most of the time, lowered immunity, frequent illnesses, frequent headaches, and muscle pain, change in appetite or sleep habits. And we have the emotional signs and symptoms of burnout. So you have sense of failure and self-doubt, loss of motivation, feeling helpless, trapped, or defeated, You have detachment, feeling alone in the world, this sense of solitude. You have decreased satisfaction and sense of accomplishment, increasingly cynical and negative outlook. And there are also some behavioral signs and symptoms of burnout. So people who show the symptoms, you really want to you want to take care of them ASAP. So withdrawing from responsibilities, isolating yourself from others, procrastinating, taking longer to get things done, using food, drugs, or alcohol to cope. We've seen this, we've covered this topic before. Emotional eating, binge eating, taking out your frustrations on others, skipping work or coming in late and leaving early. These are signs, again, these are behavioral signs and symptoms of burnout. So you got to look at your life or people in your entourage and sort of analyze their lives and their sense of fulfillment at 3 levels: physical, emotional, and behavioral. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're also having a conversation today around burnout prevention and treatment, how to nip it in the bud and regain your balance. And I just want to talk about, I've said before that there is a correlation, a strong correlation between stress and burnout. But there are also some distinctions. And I want to spend a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, talking about the difference here. There is a difference between stress and burnout. Burnout may be the result of unrelenting stress, continuous stress, but it is not the same as too much stress. Stress by and large involves too much. I'm talking about too many pressures that demand too much of you physically and mentally. However, a lot of stressed people can still imagine that if they can just get everything under control, they will feel better. Burnout, on the other hand, is about not enough. So being burned out means feeling empty and mentally exhausted, devoid of motivation, and beyond caring. So people experiencing burnout often don't see any hope or positive change in their situation. Let's say you're going to work or you're going to social events or to the church, to community events. This is the sense of not enough. If excessive stress feels like you are drowning in responsibilities, burnout is a sense of being all dried up. And while you're usually aware of being under a lot of stress, you don't always notice burnout when it happens. So stress versus burnout, I'm going to quickly just kind of give you a comparative table here. So stress is characterized by over-engagement. Emotions are overreactive, produces urgency and hyperactivity. You have loss of energy, leads to anxiety disorders. Primary damage is physical, and stress may kill you prematurely. What about burnout? Burnout, on the other end, is characterized by disengagement. Emotions are blunted, produces helplessness and hopelessness. There is loss of motivation, ideal, and hope, and that leads to detachment and depression. Also, when we have burnout, you can have a sense of apathy. And the primary damage when it comes to burnout is emotional, whereas the primary damage for stress is physical. And burnout may make life seem not worth living. So if you kind of compare and contrast the stress versus burnout, you can see the difference here. Let's talk about the causes of burnout. Burnout often seems that it is something remote but close at the same time. Burnout often stems from your job, but anyone who feels overworked and undervalued is at risk for burnout. From the hardworking office worker who hadn't had a vacation in years, to the frazzled stay-at-home mom tending to kids, housework, and an aging parent. But burnout is not really caused by stressful work or too many responsibilities. Other factors contribute to burnout, including your lifestyle and personality traits. So if you're having happy hours every day, this could lead to burnout. In fact, what you do in your downtime and how you look at the world can just play as big of a role in causing overwhelming stress as work or home demands. Let's talk about work-related causes of burnout. So you have feeling like you have little or no control over your work, lack of recognition or reward for good work, unclear or overly demanding job expectations, doing work that's monotonous or unchallenging. This could lead to burnout. Working in a chaotic or high pressure environment, which is why workplace culture is very important. So besides the work related causes of burnout, you also have lifestyle causes of burnout. So if you're working too much without enough time for socializing or relaxing, if there is a lack of close supportive relationships, taking on too many responsibilities without enough help from others, and not getting enough sleep. That's important. Sleeping is key here, folks. You also have personality traits that can contribute to burnout. For example, some people are perfectionist, right? So if you have perfectionistic tendencies, nothing is ever good enough. Constantly doing and doing just to get to the perfect results. If you have a pessimistic view of yourself and the world, if you have a need to be in control or a reluctance to delegate to others, if you are high achieving type A personality, this could lead to burnout. The reason is that, again, going back to what I said earlier, in burnout, the premise is nothing is not enough. So yes, if you are a high achieving type A personality, you could be at risk of a burnout if not managed properly. So I've actually spoken to you about the symptoms, and it is about time to act. When you yourself or someone around you exhibits some of the traits of the burnout traits that I just indicated, it's time to act. So whether you recognize the warning signs of impending burnout or you are already past the breaking point, trying to push through the exhaustion and continuing as if nothing has happened, as you have been in the last 3-6 weeks or months or years, this will only cause further emotional and physical damage. So it is very important to take things quickly and to nip them in the bud. Now is the time to pause and change direction by learning how you can help yourself overcome burnout and feel healthy and positive again. The experts have something called the 3R approach when it comes to dealing with burnout. So you have recognize, reverse, and resilience. Let me repeat that. The 3R approach to dealing with burnout: recognize, reverse, and resilience. What is recognize? So you are actually watching for the warning signs of burnout. You are identifying issues. You're identifying changes in your body, metabolical changes. You are identifying changes in your emotion. You're identifying changes around you, how you react to things, how you respond to people. Are you overstressed? Are you overreacting to little things? So recognizing is the first step when it comes to dealing properly with burnout. Second step, reversing. Reversing means undoing the damage by seeking support and managing stress. Here, I'm not talking only about a DIY approach. Chances are you might be good at dealing with this yourself, but there are people, and if this is your case, there are people who cannot handle things on their own. So I would say, please seek support. Reach out to others, and it could be people in your family, people who are close to you. It could be relatives, it could be friends, it could be colleagues, it could be folks in the community. You can reach out to a religious leader, a community elder. There are a lot of people and opportunities and I would say organizations. They are there, and their only job is to help people manage mental health, manage physical health, manage emotional health. So reverse. Number 2. Number 3, resilience. So number 1, recognition. Number 2, reversal. Number 3, resilience. Build your resilience to stress by taking care of your physical and emotional health. Physical health, we have covered this topic in another show, but you can take care of your physical health by eating right. So diet and exercise are very important. Emotional health, you need to have a proper lifestyle. All right, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're also having a conversation here about burnout prevention and treatment, and I'm just talking to you about how to nip it in the bud and regain your balance. If you love this content, this kind of content, please Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so we can inform you in real time whenever we drop a new show. We drop this kind of shows every single day, rain or shine. Comment, share, and like this content. How do you deal with burnout? How do you can actually turn to other people? I was talking about that before. When you burn out, problems seem insurmountable. Everything looks bleak, and it's very hard to muster up the energy to care, let alone take action to help yourself. Remember, you don't have to do this yourself. There are a lot of structures, there are a lot of organizations out there who can help you. If you have a lot more control over stress than you may think, there are positive steps you can take to deal with overwhelming stress and get your life back into balance. One of the most effective ways to do so is to reach out to others. So social contact is nature's antidote to stress, and talking face to face with a good listener is one of the fastest ways to calm your nervous system and relieve stress. The keyword here is good listener, somebody who is detached, who can take a step back and look at your life and listen to you without judging. So the person you talk to doesn't have to be able to fix your stressors. They just have to be a good listener, someone who will listen attentively without becoming distracted or expressing judgment. So how do you do that? Reach out to those closest to you. Be more sociable with your coworkers. You want to limit your contact with negative people. Connect with a cause or a community group that is personally meaningful to you. You can join a religious, social, or support group, and by doing that, you're able to find a place to talk to like-minded individuals about how to deal with daily stress and how to make new friends. If your line of work has a professional association, go ahead and reach out to them too. You want to find new friends. If you don't feel that you have anyone to turn to, it's never too late to build new relationships and expand your social network. You can also give. You can also donate and volunteer. The power of giving. Being helpful to others delivers immense pleasure and can help to significantly reduce stress as well as broaden your social circle. Karma is a beautiful thing. It really is. While it's important not to take on too much when you're facing overwhelming stress, helping others doesn't have to involve a lot of time or effort. Even small things like a kind word or a friendly smile can make you feel better and help lower stress both for you and the other person. You also have to pay attention to how you work and your perspective on work. If you're really trying to stop burnout, you want to pay attention to that. Whether you have a job that leaves you rushed off your feet, or one that is monotonous and unfulfilling, the most effective way to combat job burnout is to quit and find a job you love instead. Now, this might not be possible for some people because we are in an economy that is a little uncertain nowadays, so you can't just quit like that. Of course, and I understand that for many of us, changing a job or career is far from being a practical solution, right? We're just grateful just to have work that pays the bills. So you want to pay attention to a few other things. There are steps you can take to improve your state of mind. Try to find some value in your work. Even if right now you believe the work is not really interesting, there's not something you can do about it, even if the job is mundane, you can often focus on how your role helps others. Focus on aspects of the job that you do enjoy, even if it's just chatting with your coworkers at lunch. Changing your attitude towards your job can do wonders. It can help you regain a sense of purpose and control, and that's where you want to start. You want to start having this conversation with yourself where you feel like, okay, this job is really giving me what I want, even though some aspects are just kind of not interested, but the other aspects are kind of cool. Find balance in your life. If you hate your job, you want to look for meaning and satisfaction elsewhere in your life, in your family, relatives, friends, hobbies, or voluntary work. Focus on the parts of your life that bring you joy. Make friends at work. So having strong ties in the workplace can reduce monotony. I think it's kind of important because once you have that monotony reduced, you can start by countering the effect of burnout. If you have friends to chat and joke with during the day, this can help you tremendously relieve stress from an unfulfilling or demanding job. And this can even increase, so the joy you cultivated outside the workplace can help you improve your work performance, and it can also help you get through a rough day or even a good day. Take some time off. Burnout sometimes just needs some time off to be able to heal. So if burnout seems inevitable for you, try to take a complete break from work. People take sabbatical just to think, to travel, and that could be an opportunity for you. You can go on vacation, you can use up your sick days, you can ask for a temporary leave of absence. Anything to remove yourself from the situation is kind of cool. Use the time away though to recharge your batteries and pursue other methods of recovery. One thing you also want to think about when it comes to nipping burnout in the bud is to reevaluate priorities. What is important for you? What is critical for you? So burnout is usually a sign that something important in your life is not working. So you want to take time here to reconnect with yourself. Take time to walk around and ponder the things that really matter to you. So you want to think about your hopes, goals, and dreams. What are the aspirations that are keeping you awake at night? Are you neglecting something that is truly important to you? This can be an opportunity to rediscover what really makes you happy and to slow down and give yourself time to rest, reflect, and heal. So you can do this several ways. You can actually set boundaries, so you never overextend yourself. So you learn how to say no to requests on your time. You can take a daily break from technology. I mean, we live in an era where people they're just stuck to their smartphones 24/7. They're glued to the screen of their phone 24/7. So you want to set a time each day where you completely disconnect. So you put away your laptop, you turn off your phone, and stop checking email. Also learn to nourish your creative side. Creativity, ingenuity, innovation, those are powerful antidotes to burnouts. So you want to try something new, start a fun project, or resume a favorite hobby. You have all the time in the world. Choose activities that have nothing to do with the work or whatever is causing your stress. Set aside relaxation time. You can do yoga, meditation, deep breathing. All of these things will activate your body's relaxation response, a state of restfulness that is the opposite of the stress response. And most important, get plenty of sleep. Because feeling tired if you feel tired constantly, this can exacerbate burnout by causing you to think irrationally. Sleep has a wonderful effect on your metabolism. So if you keep your cool, if you want to keep your cool in a stressful situation, get a good night's sleep. Boost your ability to stay on task. So if you're having trouble following through with the self-help tips to prevent or overcome burnout, I can say that you have to reach out again to somebody else. Some of these things I'm talking about, you don't have to do it yourself. You can partner with a friend or a buddy or a professional to learn how to reduce stress in the moment, to manage troublesome thoughts and feelings, to motivate yourself to take the steps that can relieve stress and burnout. You can even learn to improve your relationship at work and home. You can also rediscover joy and meaning that make work and life worthwhile, and which ultimately will help you increase your overall health and happiness. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're also having a conversation around burnout prevention and treatment, how to nip it in the bud and regain your balance. And this is the last section of today's conversation. And I want to talk about, and I was talking earlier about physical health, how to preserve your physical health or how to optimize that health. And part of it, I mentioned diets, but also exercise. You want to make exercise a priority. That's critical. Even though this is maybe the last thing you feel like doing when you're burned out, exercise is a powerful antidote to stress and burnout, according to research. It's also something you can do right now to boost your mood. So you want to aim to exercise for 30 minutes or more per day, or break that up into short 10 minutes bursts of activity. There's something called HIIT that works pretty well for me. It's a high intensity interval training, and you can do 5-minute bursts of activity or 10 minutes bursts of activity, even 1 minute burst of activity. So if you're scared, quote unquote, about the 30 minutes or more per day of exercise, go for 10 minutes. So a 10-minute walk can improve your mood for 2 hours. So rhythmic exercise where you move both your arms and legs is a hugely effective way to lift your mood, increase energy, sharpen focus, and relax both the mind and body. So you can try walking, running, weight training, swimming, doing martial arts, and even dancing. To maximize stress relief, instead of continuing to focus on your thoughts, you want to focus on your body and how it feels as you move. The sensation of your feet hitting the ground, for instance, or the weight on your skin. This is stuff that can help you regain balance, regain energy. You can support your mood and energy level by eating a healthy diet. What you put in your body can have a huge impact on your mood and energy levels throughout the day. Minimize sugar and refined carbs. You may crave sugary snacks or comfort foods such as pasta or French fries, but these high carb foods quickly lead to a crash in mood and energy. I was just talking earlier about emotional eating and binge eating. You also want to reduce your high intake of foods that can adversely affect your mood, such as caffeine, trans fats, and foods with chemical preservatives or hormones. Eat more omega-3 fatty acids to give your mood a boost. According to research, the best sources of omega-3 fatty acids are fatty fish. So talking here about salmon, herring, mackerel, anchovies, and sardines. Seaweed is kind of cool too. Flaxseed and walnuts. Avoid nicotine. Smoking when you're feeling stressed may feel calming, but nicotine is a powerful stimulant leading to higher, not lower, levels of anxiety. Drink alcohol in moderation. So alcohol temporarily reduces worry, but too much can cause anxiety as it wears off. All right, folks, this is it for today. I really appreciate having you around for the conversation. I hope you learned as much as we did while preparing for the show. And I was talking to you about burnout prevention and treatment, how to nip it in the bud and regain your balance. I will see you next time. Try to be less stressful and instead be marvelous.